seems like the fall is upon us. Handily, my short spear is finished. I gave it a thorough testing yesterday, and I found it most capable. So we're going to make a little demonstration movie. I will say that the blade at this point, after some heavy use, is a little bit weeble wobble. Now I'm confident that I could straighten that out with the carbide hammer, but I wouldn't want to do that too many times either, because I'll be thinning the metal out every time. And it is sharp enough, I reckon. So we'll take her out with the dogs and see what we can do.
So it would really work. Not my face. Never the face. I may want to run for public office one of these days.
Of course, one of the first uses I identified for this would be the bittersweet. So it's good for dealing with the slash piles. Here's one. So just to recap what we're dealing with here, we've got this beechwood pole, which is about yay long, and about a 9-inch, 8-inch kitchen knife, Taiwanese stainless steel, and the tang is inserted into a cut in the pole, and then I wrap the whole thing with epoxy laden twine, so that is now solid as a rock. I shall demonstrate by whacking a rock with it. See? Left a little mark there, but you can just rub it out. That's very solid. So, the weak point is the blade. It is soft and flexible, but that is kind of machete-like, you know, it's very easy to sharpen it up again, bang it back into place. It's going to bend rather than snap. And I think that for what it is, it's got quite a good heat treatment and that kind of thing. So an early use that I identified for this was dealing with this bittersweet vine that was all up on this wall here, and now is mostly taken care of. But this is an example of it here. And here we have a slash pile. So that I found that this is very good for the slash pile. You want to tidy it up a little bit, you know, you got all these straggly bits here. You just kind of whack it in all the way around. You can also use it to pick things up and flip them, you know, lever things. And it's very comfortable because it's just at this height, you know. I don't even mind using it as a walking stick occasionally because, you know, that's basically just working the tip down for me. It was too pointy to begin with. So, yeah, that's use number one. Slashing vines, slashing the slash pile. Let's move on. So here's a bigger slash pile, and here's an example of something that shows you that this is quite tough stuff to chop, although it's not really that strong. You can break it with your hands usually, but to chop through, you know, that was obviously several whacks with a machete, and I couldn't get through. But I think that this thing, you know, it's a much shorter blade than a machete, but look at all the power in that handle there. So let's see how deep I can get through, you know, whether I can get all the way through. Whoops, kind of missed. That far. You get it right, you'll get all the way through pretty easily, actually, with this. It's a clean cut. It's a lot of power. Skinny blade, long handle. Hit it wrong, probably bent it. All right, let's move on. See how this gives me a really good range, a bit more than your usual machete from down here. And this is hemlock. It's pretty tough stuff. They call it the poor man's hardwood. I crouched down to film these interesting mushrooms, so of course the dogs came and trampled on them. Anyway, sure, that's fine. Wow. Path maintenance. You can kind of flick things that are in the path out of the way. You know, there's nothing really long here, but the kind of long sticks that might trip you up or what have you, you can flick them out of the way. And sometimes you got something like this, you can kick it out of the way, maybe this one. Not so much, you know. So just to not have that prong there, you come around here, see if I can get through this semi-seasoned birch in one go. Not quite, kind of made it a little past half. That'll snap very easily now. There we go. So yeah, path maintenance, you know, little things that are flopping down in your way. You can get at them from various angles. This thing here is dead. Might as well clear it out. Now, sometimes if I chop in, I'm going to hit that. If I chop up and I go through, I'm going to hit this. So here's an interesting thing with the short blade and the long handle that I discovered yesterday. I can rest this here and then, yeah. So what's the advantage of a long spear over a sword machete type thing? Well, you can hold it up here, do some whittling, do some kitchen prep, you know, and then when you need, you got the range. Okay, let's proceed. I got one more demonstration in mind, at least. So here's another fortuitous slash pile, you know, it's kind of in the path. Just chopping down the biomass, whether I'm just going to let it compost or later come back with a rake or whatever. It's more out of the way, more in better condition. Here we got some old dead stuff. Just pick that all up like that. You know, brambles, anything. Don't even need to get my gloves out. Ready for you, madam.